398 million ringgit spent on affordable housing, 21 new hydrological stations, 67 upgraded, food security and population growth. Those are the headlines for tonight. I'm Shorsha Metro and this is TVS Nightline. Housing is the key to reducing intergenerational poverty and increasing economic mobility. Research shows that increasing access to affordable housing is the most cost-effective strategy for reducing childhood poverty and increasing economic mobility in any country. As such, the Sarawak government has allocated 398 million ringgit under the 12th Malaysia Plan to implement affordable housing and non-physical projects throughout Sarawak. Deputy Premier Dato' Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian said the affordable housing projects and Rumah Spectra Permata are being implemented throughout Sarawak. Dr. Sim said this during his ministerial winding-up speech in the afternoon session of the State Legislative Assembly sitting on Wednesday. Dr. Sim, who holds the Public Health, Housing and Local Government portfolio, said the state government has introduced the Sarawak Rental Assistance Scheme to assist low-income groups and mitigate urban poverty in major towns. Under SRAS, eligible applicants from low-income groups staying in rented houses will be assisted with rental assistance of up to 200 ringgit per month for a maximum of 36 months. As of April 2022, he said that 1,176 applications were approved by SRAS Selection Committee with a combined value of 6.6 million ringgit. Additionally, the Housing Deposit Assistance Scheme initiative was also introduced in 2021. It provides cash assistance to the eligible applicant by giving a grant of up to 10,000 ringgit for the house upfront deposit payment. A total of 10 million ringgit was approved through the Ministry for the implementation of the program, which is set to benefit about 1,200 first-time home buyers in Sarawak. At the same time, Dr. Sim said the program Perumahan Rakyat PPR Seduan in Sibu is scheduled to be completed by April 2023. 21 new hydrological stations will be set up, while 67 existing ones will be upgraded at the cost of 8.97 million ringgit. The projects implemented under the National Hydrological Network Program are scheduled to be completed by July 2022. Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian said this during his winding speech at the State Legislative Assembly sitting on Wednesday. Additionally, a flood forecasting and warning system for Sungai Sarawak and Batang Rejang with a project cost of 34.2 million ringgit is currently under detailed design and the tendering process is expected to be called soon. On state-funded projects for urban drainage and flood mitigation, Sim, who is also the Minister of Housing and Local Government, said that the state government has allocated a total of 14.7 million ringgit for the implementation of numerous flood mitigation and drainage improvement projects this year. He said out of this, 7.5 million ringgit is for 3 urban drainage improvement projects and 1 hydrography survey work. Given the population growth and rising cost of living and incomes, it is estimated that the demand for food will increase from 70 to 100% by 2050. To meet this need, early intervention has been made to address food security issues in Sarawak. Modernisation of Agriculture and Regional Development Minister Dato' Sri Stephen Rundi Utom assured lawmakers that by focusing on improving the network performance in all activities related to production, processing, distribution as well as preparation of food. Rundi said food security, if not given serious attention, will have a far-reaching impact on the socio-economic health of the state's population. He said in his ministerial winding-up speech in the August House on Wednesday. He emphasized that the need to maintain the state's rice supply and stock is crucial in achieving food security. The current rice production, however, can only meet 38% of Sarawak's rice requirement. Attaining a satisfactory rice self-sufficiency level of 60% has been targeted to be achieved by 2030, Rundi said his ministry has outlined 6 key initiatives to boost rice production in Sarawak. Rundi also pointed out that his ministry has set a target to achieve a 25% self-sufficiency level SSL for both beef and mutton by 2030 to improve food security in the ruminant sector. He noted that the current population of these ruminants is considerably low in comparison to the high demand for beef and mutton, resulting in the increasing volume of imports to meet the rising domestic consumption. Sarawak's pork industry is a major income-generating industry for the state, with export earnings of over 303.3 million ringgit for the period of 2018 to 2021. State Minister for Modernisation of Agriculture and Regional Development, Dr. Stephen Rundi Udom said the domestic pork industry is well developed with the adoption of modern farming technologies.
The anchor farmer in our pig farming area, TVSTVMY, has exported pork and porkers to Singapore since 2017. Between the year 2018 to 2021, it has exported over 286,000 porkers worth 300.3 million ringgit measure. Recently, an average 2,500 porkers are exported to Singapore on a twice-weekly basis.
He revealed this in his ministerial winding-up speech at the State Legislative Assembly sitting on Wednesday. Due to this, Rundi said the government has allocated 30 million ringgit to develop another 3 new modern PFA in Selangau in Sibu Division, Samarakan in Bintulu Division, and an extension to PFA Simunjan.
My ministry will continue to encourage and facilitate the participation of private sector to develop the swine industry towards achieving an increased volume for export of live pigs and pork products.
He noted that the industry is badly affected by the African swine fever, ASF, that was first reported in Sarawak in Limbang on July 14, 2021, with 15,028 domesticated and commercial pigs culled. He added that the first index case in Sarawak was due to the poor biosecurity and hygiene of the pig farms and the farmers themselves. Swift action and measures taken by the Department of Veterinary Services (TVS) managed to prevent the spread of ASF to Kuching, Serian, and Samarahan, where 75% of the commercial pork production in Sarawak is located. In his reply to Paduan Assemblyman Chong Chien Jen on increasing pork prices in the domestic market, Rundi said his ministry is intensifying efforts to address the matter. The inaugural of the seminar Kearifan Tempatan Penyelidikan Borneo held in Borneo Cultures Museum, Kuching, aims to research works on local literatures, especially in Bornean states such as Sarawak, Sabah, Kalimantan, Indonesia, and Brunei Darussalam. According to Dewan Negara Senator Datuk Zayedi Suhaili, there are 3 main objectives, namely to preserve history for future reference, local knowledge through research that is later documented, and to strengthen research efforts that preserve the values of civilization and the uniqueness of the various communities in Borneo. Adding to that, with Sarawak's diverse ethnicity and cultures, he said that research relating to the languages, literature, and culture is highly encouraged.
Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan di negeri Sarawak ini, khususnya dengan kepelbagaian etnik, amat menggalakkan pengkajian tentang kearifan tempatan serta penerbitan bahan-bahan yang berkaitan dengan bahasa, sastra, kebudayaan tempatan, terutamanya di Kepulauan Borneo.
Additionally, he said it covers aspects of for further studies and research on the preservation, distribution, writing, and translation of the Malay language in various fields. He reiterated that the results of such efforts should be distributed to the community so that they can be benefited together in ensuring that the knowledge continues to live. As such, he calls upon for more participation in language and literature activities and to make use of the platform provided by the government.
Dalam pada itu, saya menyeru kepada semua pihak agar tidak ketinggalan untuk menyertai serta dalam segala aktiviti kebahasaan dan kesusastraan yang diadakan dari masa ke semasa serta memberi sokongan padu kepada pihak pengajuk. Peluang dan ruang yang disediakan oleh pihak kerajaan ini seharusnya dimanfaatkan oleh segenap lapisan masyarakat agar mereka dapat bersama-sama menuju arus pembangunan negara dalam apa jua aspek yang dilaksanakan oleh kerajaan.
The seminar was jointly organized by various divisions under Dewan Bahasa and Pustaka, the Sarawak Museum Department, and the National Department for Culture and Arts. Coming up after the break, Malaysia posts lower net loss. Germany orders vaccine for monkeypox right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Although inflation for April is expected to rise following the increase in the prices of goods, the rate is still seen as low and under control due to the broad-based subsidies provided by the government. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Economy, Dato' Sri Mustafa Mohammed, said the government's move to control raw material prices has also helped in curbing the country's inflation, which stood at 2.2% in March 2022.
March adalah 2.2%, ya. April 2.3%, naik 0.1% lah. Peningkatan itu kecil, tapi kita sudah maklum rakyat merasakan bahawa kadarnya lebih tinggi. Inflasi ini kadar average purata, ya. Urban, rural, semua makanan, bukan makanannya, tapi bagi rakyat kerana 30% daripada pendapatan kita ni adalah untuk makanan. Untuk negara Malaysia lah, untuk setiap. Tapi bagi orang miskin, mungkin 60% untuk makanan. Ya.
Mustafa said this during a press conference held after the courtesy call to the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg on Wednesday, May 25th. At the same time, Mustafa pointed out that the inflation rate is low due to price controls and subsidies such as those for cooking oil and fuel.
Seperti saya sebut, kita alhamdulillah di Malaysia ni inflasi kita rendah negara ini kerana banyak subsidi. Yang petrol ni kesan cukup besar. Petrol ya, tapi transport, makanan untuk petrol. Apabila harga petrol ni 205 bagi RON 97. RON 95, 205, 215 bagi diesel, banyak bantu pengguna. LPG ya, masih disubsidi. Kita cuma bayar 50%, 50% saja, separuh 50% dibayar oleh kerajaan cooking gas ya. Jadi inilah yang menyebabkan inflasi kita terkawal ya.
National Courier Service Post Malaysia Berhad recorded a lower net loss in the first quarter ended March 31, 2022 at 30.37 million ringgit from 46.78 million ringgit a year ago.
Revenue decreased by 18.6% to 484.35 million ringgit from 595.28 million ringgit a year ago, driven primarily by fewer parcels as a result of a slowdown in online orders on the back of easing COVID-19 movement restrictions and the resulting change in consumer behavior. Group Chief Executive Officer Charles Brewer said despite the challenging operating landscape, its Q1 performance is a testament that its transformation is starting to deliver results. Brewer said the group will continue to drive its transformation plan, strengthen the core, and build trust to connect lives and business to deliver a better performance for the year.
The Health Ministry has not received any reports of monkeypox cases linked to adults or children in the country as of 5 p.m. yesterday. The ministry on its official Facebook page said they have not been notified of people infected with the monkeypox virus, as stated in a social media message bearing a photograph of a child with lesions on the hands.
The ministry was reacting to a photograph circulating on social media where the user claimed the monkeypox virus was present in Malaysia and that a child had been infected. The public is also advised not to spread any news that is unverified. Monkeypox, a zoonotic disease that is endemic in the animal population in Western and Central Africa, has been reported in Europe, Australia, America, United Arab Emirates, as well as Slovenia and Czech Republic. On May 21st, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said they are closely monitoring the progress of monkeypox cases based on reports from the World Health Organization and would conduct surveillance on suspected cases at all the country's international entry points. He said the ministry is also keeping watch on outbreaks in the affected countries, while the Institute for Medical Research and the National Public Health Laboratory was able to conduct tests to detect the virus which caused monkeypox among humans. Meanwhile, Dr. Noor Hisham urged travelers arriving in the country from location with monkeypox cases and who developed symptoms associated with the disease within 3 weeks after departing from their previous locations to immediately seek treatment at the nearest health facility. He also advised Malaysians heading to Central and West Africa, as well as nations with monkeypox cases, to be vigilant and take precautionary measures.
Soil sedimentation and low-lying areas located below river level are among the causes of floods in several parts of the federal capital after 2 hours of heavy rain earlier this morning.
Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL Socio-Economic Development Executive Director Dato' Anwar Muhammad Zain said stagnated water receded within 30 minutes and areas located below the level of the overflowing rivers were Jalan Rahmat, Jalan Ipoh Batu Tiga, Jalan Segambut and Jalan Ampang. Anwar said the stagnated water did not cause damage to properties and there were no serious traffic congestions. He also explained that a video of flash flood in Jalan Traverse that went viral on social media was an old incident and advised the public to always be careful and check the information from reliable sources.
Thank you for staying with me. And now on to our world affairs. U.S. President Joe Biden asked Americans to stand up to the gun lobby and pressure members of Congress to pass sensible gun laws after the killing of at least 18 children and an adult in a Texas school shooting on Tuesday, May 24.
The list goes on, and the list grows. When it includes mass shootings at places like movie theaters, houses of worship, as we saw just 10 days ago, the grocery store in Buffalo, New York. I am sick and tired of it. We have to act. And don't tell me we can't have an impact on this carnage. I spent my career as a senator and a vice president working to pass common sense gun laws. We can and won't prevent every tragedy, but we know they work and have positive impact. When we passed the assault weapons ban, mass shootings went down. When the law expired, mass shootings tripled. The idea that an 18-year-old kid can walk into a gun store and buy 2 assault weapons is just wrong. What in God's name do you need an assault weapon for except to kill someone?
Biden ordered the flags at the White House and at U.S. federal and public buildings to be flown at half-staff until sunset on May 28. Residents in Uvalde were left reeling in horror and grief after a teenage gunman murdered at least 19 children and 2 teachers in a Texas elementary school on Tuesday, May 24th, the latest bout of gun-filled mass killing in the United States and the nation's worst school shooting in nearly a decade. Family members gathered at the civic center with some crying and praying while waiting to hear further updates from the authorities. The carnage began with the 18-year-old suspect, identified as Salvador Ramos, shooting his own grandmother, who survived. He fled that scene and crashed his car near the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, a town about 80 miles, 130 kilometers west of San Antonio. There he launched a bloody rampage that ended when he was killed, apparently shot by police.
Germany has ordered 40,000 doses of a Bavarian Nordic vaccine to be ready to vaccinate contacts of those infected with monkeypox if an outbreak in Germany becomes more severe, but officials are banking on other precautionary measures for now.
Bavarian Nordic, a vaccine company based in Denmark and the Bavarian capital of Munich, developed a vaccine based on the modified Vaccinia Ankara smallpox virus. German Health Minister Karl Lauterbach earlier on Tuesday announced that measures such as an isolation period of at least 21 days recommended for infected people would suffice for now to contain the outbreak. He said the outbreak of monkeypox could be contained and did not signal the start of a new pandemic, adding that early intervention can prevent the pathogen from becoming firmly established in communities. So far, 5 cases have been registered in Germany, all men, said Lothar Wieler, the head of Germany's Robert Koch Institute for Infectious Diseases, speaking at a joint news conference with Lauterbach. A World Health Organization official on Monday issued similar guidance, saying the outbreak does not require mass vaccinations because measures like hygiene and safe sexual behavior will help control the spread. The WHO has registered more than 250 confirmed and suspected monkeypox infections, with a geographic spread that is unusual for the disease, which is endemic in parts of West and Central Africa, but rare elsewhere.
In a dramatic underwater rescue, Spanish divers freed a 12-meter-long humpback whale entangled in an illegal drift net off the Balearic island of Mallorca. For 32-year-old marine biologist Gigi Torres, the rescue itself and the whale's reaction was the best ever birthday present.
Torres explained that it was only the 3rd time that a humpback has been seen in the Balearic Island. The weakened whale had been spotted by a ship about 3 miles, 4.83 kilometers off the Cala Milor beach in the eastern part of the island, prompting Palma de Mallorca's Aquarium Marine Rescue Center into action. They discovered the whale completely trapped in the red fish net. It could not even open its mouth. After initial attempts to cut the net from a boat failed, divers from Albatross and Squallow diving centers joined the effort and plunged into the sea to remove the mesh with their knives in a daring 45-minute operation, adding that the mammal then stayed for a bit to regain her strength in the company of the 4 divers and even gave what looked like a little thank you sign before swimming off. Nicknamed the Walls of Death for the quantity of other sea life they catch in addition to the fish they are set for, drift nets were banned by the United Nations 30 years ago.
Many would question, what if a hobby could impact our health? Set your alarm for Sejahtera Asia with host Sharon Kazia and Gisela Klinsmans at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow with avid cycler Noor Isham Azman, which he will bring the answer to that question: can cycling contribute to losing weight? Right here on TVS Astro Channel 122 and My Review. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. Just a click away by heading onto our website at www.tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Cheryl Shamato. Thank you for watching.